70 to 80%. And this is why we must always pay our attention and our homage to Bujuburon camp. And I'm so happy that I'm on the panel discussion to dissect this issue about the recent, upheaval and that refugee camp. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Marsha. We also have Brenda Alberta Tall with us, who is also from the Liberian Returnee Network as well. So we'll give Brenda the opportunity to also introduce herself briefly, and then we will go to the next panelist. Brenda, can you hear us there? You're on mute. Brenda, can you introduce yourself? Brenda is coming to us live from Ghana as well, for those of you that are actually listening. Brenda, can you hear us?
She's on mute.
All right. It seems like Brenda may be having some technical issues. So while she fixes that, we will go to the Reverend Festus Logan, who is the Executive Director of the Liberian Refugee, Repatriation, and Resettlement Commission as well. So, Reverend Logan, thank you so much for taking up some time out of your busy schedule to join us.
I'm serving as the Refugees Coordinator and the Public Relations. I'm so happy to be to the prevailing situation here in Ghana. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Brenda. Clearly, there was some serious delay there with Brenda. So, Reverend Logan, you can go ahead now.
Oh, again. Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Reverend Logan.
Reverend Logan, if you can hear us, please go ahead to introduce yourself, please.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you to you and your team for inviting me to the discussion. I think is an obligation for me to engage our people. Again, you have already introduced me. My name is Reverend Logan Festus, and I'm the Executive Director of the Repatriation. It is an honor, it is a privilege to be on your show. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you very much, Reverend Logan. So let's get right into the issue. When this information came up, first of all, I was in Liberia when this information came out, and we made it our business to visit the Bujuburon because we wanted to know. We're getting some feedback. Can everybody mute your phones, please? Yeah, thank you. Mute your devices. If you're not muted, but everybody, can you please mute your devices? Thank you. So we were in Liberia when we got this alarming information. We're still getting some feedback. Can everybody kind of mute all of your devices? Just mute it, everybody. Thank you. Great, that's good. That's better now. So we were in Liberia when this information came out, and we made it our business to go to Ghana. I had the opportunity to meet with Alberta as well, with Brenda while we're in Ghana to look at this. Taryn and I had several discussions in Liberia. We also had a chance to meet with you, Reverend Festus Logan, to also talk to you about some of the developments that were happening. And recently, we received a document that is a residence permit being issued Liberian. So I want to give some background here. There is the UNHCR briefing notes on the operations in Ghana as it relates to the refugee situation. And I would just read a tiny little portion of the 3 opportunities that were provided to Liberians on the camp: voluntary repatriation, resettlement, local integration. Those were the 3 opportunities. At some point, resettlement was no longer a focus of the UNHCR, as they made it very, very clear. So voluntary repatriation and local integration became the 2 options. Now, there were certain legal obligations that the Ghanaian government agreed to under this framework that I'm going to read. It's the official document. I've sent it to Anthony as well. The Ghanaian government agreed legally that the Ghanaian government will lead the process of identifying sites and relocating refugees who want to locally integrate. The government of Ghana agreed to establish and implement mechanisms to facilitate the provision of resident permits to refugees who want to locally integrate. The UNHCR agreed to liaise with the country of Liberia to procure national passports for refugees who would like to locally integrate in Ghana as permanent residents. The UNHCR also agreed to bear the cost of resident permits payable to the government of Ghana for the local integration of refugees on a one-year basis, renewable once by UNHCR in terms of payment. UNHCR agreed to continue to implement self-reliant programs, with 20% of these programs going to persons from these communities. Now, the public information. The government of Ghana will lead the development of a public information strategy and implement public information campaign to inform Ghanaian communities and refugees about the local integration initiative. What the UN has done thus far. Financial contributions. 2007, the UN contributed $11 million, 122,277 just in 2007 alone. 2008, another 6 million. 2009, another 5 million. 2010, another $4 million. These are all USD, by the way. Now, the point I'm trying to make, in conclusion, the Ghana Refugee Board also signed some very important agreements that they committed themselves to. They defined what local integration meant. Local integration legally means full integration for refugees who are granted residency and full and permanent membership status by the host government. Under these circumstances, refugees acquire the protection of the host state and enjoy the full range of economic, social, and civil rights accorded to them as permanent legal residents, including access to citizenship under the same terms as others. Now, I'm reading these are official documents both from the Ghana Refugee Board and the United Nations High Commission for Refugees. So the question now begs, where is the Ghanaian government, the Liberian government, and all the stakeholders in the wake of a 30 days ultimatum being issued refugees to vacate the camp when they are yet to receive the resident permits they were promised? They are yet to receive official passports. All of them, I spoke to a lot of them who are yet to receive official passports or travel documents. So many of them cannot even leave, those who want to leave the camp, because they don't have the travel documents. The ones who want to locally integrate cannot also leave, because until a few months ago, we realized the Ghanaian government started to issue residence permits. And let's see what those resident permits says. Anthony, can we put that up, please, before I bring in the panelists? That is the resident permit issued. Just look at where we've highlighted on one of the resident permits. No occupation or business for reward permitted. What this means is Liberian refugees are being issued residence permit by the Ghanaian government in violation of their own agreement that they signed. And they are saying Liberian refugees who receive the resident permit cannot work, cannot do business, cannot even sell in Ghana to begin with. So I will leave it right here, and you see the date on this resident permit. If you notice, when it's issued, right? The official date, that March 11, 2021. So this is just most recent that they started issuing this, barring those who are receiving it from working, from selling, or doing any business in Ghana. So how can you say you are locally integrating Liberian refugees and giving them such a document? Now, the backdrop I'm putting this against was 2 years ago. We saw the Ghanaian government all over the place with the year of return, where they were welcoming back Black Americans, Black people from around the world. Please, we want you to come back to Africa, right? These are your fellow Liberians right next door that we have so much in common with Ghana, that are in your country, have been stranded there some for 25, 30 years because of war. And now you say you want to integrate them in your society, and you violate every single one of the terms that you signed by giving them a resident permit that does not allow them to work, that does not allow them to do any business in your country. So I'll leave it there. And we'll go to our panelists. Reverend Loking, I will start with you first, from your perspective, from the LRRC standpoint.
Leo, once more, thank you. And I would like to confine my discussion on a very technical note, because everything that I say here should be backed by evidence. And so I don't want to discuss outside of this discussion. The first thing is, let's go to the history of the whole issue. In 2012, a cessation was announced. Cessation in the 1951 context speaks about the international community after understanding, after doing their flexibility study in the country of origin, and notice that there is a political, social, economic stability, then there should be no need for anyone to become refugees. That was done in 2012. Then it comes about the three durable solutions. I listened to you naming them, the three durable solutions under the refugee regime. Number one, you have voluntary repatriation after the cessation is announced or in the process of a cessation. Refugees should be given the right to return home. That process you saw from 2012 coming back off was the process of voluntary repatriation, which is part of the durable solution under the refugee regime. The next thing would be local integration, all right? And we all, as a country, signed up on that 1951 convention, and we must abide by those rules within the 1951 convention. Like in the context of Liberia, the few days I was in Cote d'Ivoire, and we had this on the roadmap of the foreign refugees, and we want to consummate the roadmap and sign onto it to move. So we highlighted voluntary repatriation. As we speak, Ivorians are now returning home. The host country is under obligation to have something called a return package that has to do with reintegration into their society. It is the responsibility of the country of origin. Now, it becomes the responsibility of the host country to provide local integration, because some of them will say, look, since I've stayed 20 years, 30 years in this country, I cannot go back into my country of origin. I need to stay here into my asylum country. The asylum country now have the responsibility under the convention to provide those people what they need. So you saw over 500 plus, 1,000 plus persons requesting for local integration into the Ghanaian society. The Ghanaian government is under obligation to locally integrate these people. Now, the local integration has two dimensions. One, people wouldn't want to lose their citizenship. The Ghanaian government is under obligation to give them resident status. Those of them that want to denounce their citizenship are under obligation to do an oath of allegiance of Ghana, meaning you denounce your citizenship, of Liberia, and you take on the citizenship of Ghana. How does it happen? The Ghana Refugees Board is under obligation to profile those individuals and send them to the Ghana Immigration Service. The Ghana Immigration Service will prepare them, you understand me, and send them to the court for those of them that want to naturalize into the process. For those of them that want to have a resident, the immigration is under obligation to do that. Was it done in the context of Ghana? Well, we still asking the basic question: where are we in terms of the local integration of process? Where are we into it? Now, there are other people who say that, look, I cannot return to Liberia because there are some issues that I cannot return. It could be a security issue. There is a process called the exemption process. Now, those persons will exempt themselves from the dispensation, meaning they still want to enjoy the refugee status. Those persons are under obligation. The Ghanaian government asylum committee must adjudicate their claims being presented by those people. It is my understanding, Leo, that over 500 Liberians pass the exemption process. So on record, you have 500 Liberians who are still refugees in Ghana by the record. You understand me? 500 Liberians who are legitimate refugees in Ghana based on the exemption. They applied for exemption, and the Ghanaian authority gave them the authority. You have 1,700 persons who apply for local integration. So there we are. I'm asking the Ghana refugee board, where are we with those people? Now, if you say that you want to demolish the refugee camp, the former refugee camp, for record, in 2009, there was this decommissioning of the camp. The camp was officially decommissioned. All right. So if you telling me that, look, we want to demolish the camp, which of course is in the right of the Ghanaian authority because it's our land. The question that I'm asking them is, if you decommission the camp, where are you carrying the rest of the refugees? You are under obligation to give them a place. In the case of Liberia, we are on the local integration process. We are about to end. Next month, there will be a session announced in Geneva, which I'm privileged to attend, of the Ivorian refugees. There will be no Ivorian refugees all over the world, except those who apply for exemption. If they apply for exemption in the Liberian context, they have to go through our asylum committee, and they will adjudicate the claims. If the claims are genuine, we'll give them refugee status. If they are not, obviously we cannot give them refugee status. We're asking them to go back home, or better still, to become the ECOWAS citizen under the ECOWAS protocol. That's how the process works. So the issue of the voluntary repatriation, there were people that came back home. There are a lot of people that came back home to Liberia. Those people are still in Liberia. Some of them return to Liberia. Now, the third component of the global solution has to do with resettlement. Now, resettlement is a product of the 1969 protocol of the United Nations. That is resettlement. But given the context of the refugee situation globally, the UN and other international bodies kind of studying that, because the refugee status it has grown almost something million around the world, even to the extent Western countries are now telling people that they don't want any more refugees. So it's a difficult thing, on with the three global solution with respect to the how to call it, the resettlement. So that's where we are now. Where are we from the government stand of view? Look, government bureaucracy is there to play. Upon hearing that, and we want to use a medium to make it very clear. The first time we heard that, we did a communication to the board of directors of the Air Troop Barracks. We did a communication to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. We did a communication to the President's office, informing them that there is an imminent problem with Liberians. The President's office is studying that and have mandated the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Like I told you when you came to me the other day, and we have had series of consultation, even with the Ghanaian ambassador accredited to Monrovia, near Monrovia. He made it explicit clear that as far as the Ghanaian authority is concerned, there has not been an official or action on the part of the Ghanaian government. Yes, he admitted that the Gomoa authority, the local authority, was called the Gomoa, whatever they call them, are the ones that are taking them. The Minister of Foreign Affairs then asked him that inform the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ghana that the Liberian authority are concerned about the situation of the citizens. So as we speak, there is a battle diplomacy that are ongoing. Too many discussions that are ongoing. Right. On Friday, I wrote the UNHCR regional office, requesting the regional office of the UNHCR to have an intervention in this crisis. I said in my communication to them that the issue of Liberians, when I said the three doable solutions needs to be studied. I did another communication to my board chairman that we are nearing the time given by the Ghanaian authority. So we're hoping tomorrow there have been a lot of cross issues happening. All right, and not to even forget as to what we are doing as a commission responsible for refugee activities in and out of Liberia. We were able to write the Ghana Refugee Board. Even into Ivory Coast when we went, I had a meeting. I planned a meeting. I even had a meeting. I planned a meeting with the Secretary General, the Acting Secretary General of the Ghanaian Refugee Board, and the Deputy Minister of Interior. Unfortunately, the way the program was set up, they had some excuses and they left the country. They had some excuses, they left the country. The Minister of Internal Affairs and myself, we have booked an appointment to discuss with them, with the regional director of the with the UNHCR. They left, they went. Now, to close us, next month, we will be going to Geneva. I'm invited to speak on the panel. And as God will have it, the Ghana Authority, the Refugee Board of Ghana, is to have the opportunity to speak to the panel. And they will be speaking on the Ghana experience of the Liberian. Unfortunately, I'll be sitting down there. I will be sitting down to hear exactly what is the experience. There should be another experience, but there's no experience. We are grateful to the Ghana Authority that they can host our people. But when it comes to doing what you sign up for, it's unfortunate we are not seeing it. We still have people languaging. And I want to say that last year, or at the start of this year, the Liberian government were able to send 1,900 passports to Liberians. What you just displayed on your screen is as the result of the passport we sent over. Now, I'm surprised to see in a passport there are certain work that you cannot do. So again, it gave us a lot of work to study. It gives us a lot of means to engage. You cannot earn certain living. You cannot go to certain education. Then I want to know what kind of status is there. So I stop here for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, Reverend Logan. I gave Reverend Logan the time because it was good to provide some of the technical background as to what has been happening. Can we just mute our phone? Reverend Logan, if you're done, can you mute the phone as well? Thank you. Thank you. So I gave Reverend Logan the time just so that we could get some of the technical background work from the LRRC as to what has been happening on the diplomatic side, on the technical side as well. So Brenda, I'm hoping you can hear us now. I'm hoping your audio is good. We will give you the chance, Brenda, to give us your first-hand account on the ground as one of the representatives of the Liberian Returning Network, who's on the ground in Ghana every day, because I know I met you there as well, and who also is a former resident of the Budubram refugee camp, as to what are the realities on the ground.
Yeah. Thank you, Leo, for this opportunity again. I say, I'm not just a former resident, but I'm also a pioneer, okay, of the refugee camp. Here now, like we talk about the residence permit, people are, in limbo. I mean, nobody knows what's the next step. So my chat with people, they are just like, we want to go. Most especially for those I have encountered, they want to go back home. So because I told them that this is what we are working on, and that's our dream. Because about this, what the topic is talking about, hypocrisy, I don't want to see it as hypocrisy anyway. Something like a neglect. Everything is just like the backside, like what Reverend Logan is saying. He's even surprised to see such thing in the residence. But I don't have it, for one. I don't have it. Okay. In court, I stubbornly went to the refugee board for my passport in March when I wanted to go to Monrovia. So because I feel that they always alter people's lives. They want to. These passports were sent in September of last year, and they still have it. So why should I wait for it? I went for it. So now I'm without it. And it's okay because my first passport also had it in, but I didn't do anything. Everything I do here is on my own, so it serves as nothing. And it's truly bad. People are tired. People want to go home. despite the fact, somebody will say socioeconomic issues or why people want to go home. That's what I can say for now. And I'm still chatting with people. I met Mr. Obi also to give me a clear, passage through the camp, because I don't want to be seen as somebody doing something that is not illegal to, get to people, get what they have to say, and then get some data that you talked about the last time when we had the short town hall meeting here, August 24th. So that's just what I'm doing basically here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brenda. And just to put this in context, this is not a new issue. From the day I was on the Bolivarian camp, there've always been this friction with Liberians on the camp, sometimes Ghanaian residents, and I always like to tell people, this is not about saying, oh, Liberians are ungrateful. No, Liberians have always been profoundly grateful to the government and people of Ghana for hosting Liberian refugees. Nobody can deny that. That is not an issue of debate. That being said, there is absolutely nothing wrong holding the Ghanaian government accountable for its obligations under international law, for its obligation under the UN Human Rights Convention, but also for its obligation under agreements that it has signed to try and make sure that these issues are taken care of properly. At the end of the day, all some of us want to see is an organized way of doing this. Liberians who want to go home, want to go back to Liberia, let us put in a proper plan and an organized way of facilitating that process. Liberians who want to locally integrate into Ghana, let us also put in place an organized, clearly defined process of how to do that so people are not confused. Rather than waking up one day and giving an ultimatum to saying 30 days, you either leave or we will kick you out. Leave and go where? So Tyron, on that note, I will bring you in. I know you've been working on this issue a lot longer. You've been having a series of conversations as to what could be done on the Liberian side in terms of if people came back, but also on the Ghanaian side as well. So please go ahead, Mr. Marshall. You're on mute. You have to unmute your phone, Tyron. Your device is muted and we cannot hear you. All right, it seems like, I don't know if you can hear us, Tyron, but while Tyron is dealing with his technical issue there until he actually comes on, Reverend Logan made some very important points that the Liberian government, just through the LTRIPS.
Okay, are you hearing me?
Okay, now we actually got you here, Tyron. You can go ahead.
You are hearing me? You hearing me, right? Okay. Leo, I've always said I'm glad to be on the panel today. The Liberian refugees issue, when it comes to the Ghanaian government, there have been serious disrespect when it comes to international treaty that has to do with refugee. Ghana is on record for that. But Ghana hasn't been penalized. And nobody has taken up, or no country has taken up the time to really take Ghana to the tax. Some of us, when I was in Ghana, I started to do that. I was chased out of Ghana. I almost lost my life. I was jailed in Ghana, left 4 times, speaking up for refugees' rights. Refugee get scholarship, Ghanaians take 70 to 80% of that scholarship. Refugee get food, medication, Ghanaian takes almost all. Sometimes even sell it to us. Ghanaians are the land issue. Every time it's like land, we have to, even some part of the land like Iroyu or other places, someone will come in and the refugee have to lease that land from a Ghanaian family. And the Ghana government will got nothing to do. The Ghana refugee, it just a cahoot a lot of wicked people. And sometimes when I say it's the people say my language is harsh, but this is wrong. When you put pen to paper, respect it. These are group of destitute people, and you compound trauma. All right, the Ghanaian government hasn't been doing good. They were on record for Nigeria after the Biafra war. The Nigerian tried to build Kasua. We met that story. After the Nigerian opioid Kasua, they raided out after the Biafra war. Ghana must go. The Nigerian equally got ready for them in Nigeria and equally send them back. Ghana is on record for disrespecting treaty, and we have to stand up. This is why, from our end, I should say this on this public forum, that the Liberian Returning Network is preparing a lawsuit against Ghana for the mayhem, for the ill treatment, for the inhumane treatment that they have meted against Liberian refugees. You can take somebody, you can take the refugee, you take his resettlement. You will go to Kotokai. You and your family, Leo Johnson and his family, marching to Kotokai. I tell you that you are qualified for resettlement, and you get to Kotoka, and another Ghanaian family is there by the name of Leo Johnson, and go on your knee, and they will turn you back, and they will deny it. All of those things happen. Children, they were joking us for the same land issue. This is why I said the Liberian government will spear us in the night and juke the Liberian refugees. It happens in 2001 when the Liberian tried to retaliate on one of the Ghanaians. The Ghana military, the police, came on the camp and started to beat people and spoil people property. This thing has continued over the time. What is happening? If anybody tells me this is happening that the Ghanaian government don't know about it, it's a blatant lie from hell. Ghana, because the huge amount of money they were getting, maybe the millions have reduced, and so they no longer respect the Liberian refugees. They no longer respect us. All right? Then they want us out now. And they're talking about other Africans must come by home and people should return to. All Ghana wants is to benefit. All they don't respect human rights. Ghana doesn't respect when it comes to human rights, refugees' rights. The OAU, they are a signatory to that treaty of the OAU. All right? Ghana had chaired ECOWAS. All of these things, may his peace be unto his arches. The late John Rowland, taking Liberians in, he didn't mean to harm us. He was just adhering to his part of the treaty. But are just bad jokers among the deck of cards. The Ghanaians, the Ghana Refugee Board, the Christian Council, scholarship camp for Liberian refugees. Christian Council get more than half of the scholarship to Ghanaians. When you talk about it, they beat you up, they throw you in jail. Medicine come to that place. Look at Bujumbura. When we got in that place was a desert. Today, because of Liberian refugees, you benefit a modern hospital that have a mortuary. You benefit schools. You benefit a modern police station with a fire service, along with a fire service truck. All right? All of these things, Ghanaians have benefited. If you check some of the Ghanaians, the Liberian refugees, Ghanaians are Liberian refugees status all around the world today. You check majority of the Liberians, they are not Liberians, they are Ghanaians. You did all of these things to the people. Now, even if Ghana wanted to like or tell the Liberian refugees that it is about time that you go back home, why can't you communicate with your counterpart? And you try to secretly do it undercover, say it's the chiefs. It's the Ghana government, not the chiefs, Leo. It's not the chiefs. That act that is ongoing, Ghana government has put that out to do it, using the chief's hand to take the hot coal from the fire.
Okay.
But
All right.
we are not going to back. We carry the matter to ECOWAS school. We know that the Liberian government is a tooth-like bulldog. They're not going to do anything. They always say, "Oh, diplomatic relations," and nobody respecting that. Ghana is not respecting that already. You have respected your side of the bargain. Ghana isn't respecting it. We are going to come to the International Court of Justice because these are human beings and their rights should be protected. All right? And so we are not going to take it easy with Ghana this time around. They did it to Nigeria and nothing happened. And they think that they can do it to Liberia and go scot-free. They will not go scot-free. They will not go scot-free. Because you get many of you that got resettlement in the West, did they give you permit with expiring date? Did they give you limitations in not getting job? Did they give you limitations for you not to get for you not to go to school? These are gross disrespect, and Ghana should be penalized for it, so they can respect the ECOWAS treaty, they can respect the United Nations treaty, they can respect other treaties.
All right, Tyron, thank you very much for your intervention there, and I can see this is something you're very passionate about. I mean, for the sake of our listening audience, I just want everybody to know that I can only go by what is official. The letter that we've seen was signed under the authority of the Gomoa local chief. So that's the hard evidence that we have. So I just wanted to make sure I clear. But I hear you, Tyron, in terms of your experience dealing with this matter for as long as it has actually been. I just want to hone something home here. We'll go to some of our comments, and then we will get some of the callers that I want to call in. The number to call in is on the screen here if you have questions or clarifications you want to make. So where we are now is about finding solutions. The problem is on our hand. We have the challenge. Number one, I would like to highlight the role of ECOWAS here. We recently saw how active and quickly ECOWAS moved when the situation in Guinea happened. All of a sudden, when the coup happened, we saw ECOWAS step in and it's meeting, and we are hoping that ECOWAS can start to show the same level of seriousness when it comes to this type of issues that have the potential of creating conflicts. It will not be the first time we've seen police or military show up on the Buduburan camp one morning and round everybody up. So when it comes to the issue of the protection of human rights, when it comes to the issue of the basic necessities of life, the provision of it, protection of political rights, we expect to see the same level of seriousness from ECOWAS. Where is ECOWAS in this matter that refugees' rights are being abused? It cannot only be when it is political, when there's a coup, or when a president is being deposed, or when there's a serious. We cannot limit ECOWAS. I think one of the biggest issues that ECOWAS needs to start looking at now has to come down to these social economic issues, human rights issues by member states and how we're treating each other, in my opinion. But number two, it's good we have Reverend Festus Logan on. It's time for the Liberian government to step up its game. In my opinion, the Liberian government should be piling the pressure on through the diplomatic circles on the Ghanaian ambassador in Ghana or the Ghana embassy, on the Ghanaian government. There should already be an official communication at the ECOWAS emergency session about this matter now, if it hasn't already been done. And then civil society groups. In Liberia, when something happens, we see civil society group protesting all of the time when it's political in nature. Is that the only thing we care about? Here is a situation. You can have any opinions you want to have about Liberians on the refugee camp in Ghana. That is up to you. Until you live in their shoes, you will not fully understand. But it doesn't matter what your opinions are. We are talking about the abuse of human rights here. So we expect to see an upswell, an outcry from Liberian civil society organizations, and elevating and profiling this issue for the world to see that the rights of Liberians are at stake. And it is about time for them to, all of us, step up our game. We cannot only protest when it is about political issues. We cannot only raise our voices when it's about issues in our personal interest. If we say we are advocates, if we say the rights and freedoms of people is what we want to defend, here are Liberians who are in a situation where their rights are being subjected to abuse in every way. So for me, one of the practical solutions I will start to say is the rallying of civil society organizations, not just Liberian ones, even non-Liberian ones, even Ghanaian civil society organizations as well. If you claim you stand for human rights, for the rights of people, then we all should be in this fight together, and not just Liberian civil society associations. The Liberian government needs to play its part. In fact, the Liberian government is under obligation to protect its citizens regardless of where they are. So if there are Liberian citizens in Ghana that are under the threat of their rights being abused, the Liberian government has every right through the ECOWAS diplomatic mechanisms, through the UN diplomatic mechanisms, through international diplomatic mechanisms to step up and say we will not accept the rights of Liberians being abused only because of procedural errors by the Ghanaian Refugee Board, by the UNHCR, that the things that say they should have done right, they neglected to do it right. And here's what I use the word hypocrisy of the year of return. We cannot be preaching African solidarity around the world, and then right in our own backyards, we think it's okay to abuse each other. So say all you want to say, and there have been people out there with this misconception, oh, Liberians didn't want to come home. They should leave the people country now. That is the most reckless and irresponsible statement anybody can make. And I'm saying that because I live on a Buduburam refugee camp. I'm saying that because I've been going there since 2015 every year. Let me give you the breaking news. There are people on that camp who are 25 to 30 years of age that were born as stateless people. They don't know the place called Liberia. At the same time, they are not Ghanaian citizens. Are you telling them that it is a practical thing to just wake up one morning, pack their bags, and show up in Monrovia and say, Anakam? Are you also telling me that we will not have a crisis on our hand if 6,000 Liberians pack their bags today and all 6,000 of them show up at the same time at RIA? Are you telling me we will not have a crisis? Yes, we will have a crisis. Where will they live? Or you want us to start creating more refugee camps in Liberia again? We will not. So let's talk about some simple practical solutions that we can do now. Step up the pressure on the Liberian government. If we need to do it through rallies, let's do it through rallies. If we need to write letters, let's do it. If we need to call our lawmakers to book, let us do it. We are doing our little part here by elevating the conversation in the diaspora. We'll be reaching out to Spoon TV, to OKFM, to ensure that we pile up the pressure, informing people, giving people the right information as to what they actually do. But before we go to the phone lines, I'll give quick 2 minutes to you, Tyron, and quick 2 minutes to you, Brenda, before we take some of our comments from our viewers, and then we'll go to the phone lines and see if we have callers. Brenda, you can go first. I want you to talk about practical solutions.
Leo, you just
go ahead, Tyron.
Leo, you just said it all. I mean,
practical.
Okay, Brenda, go first. Let me do the lady an opportunity here. Female panel. Brenda, go first.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Practical solution. What I see here is first and foremost our initiative, LRN's initiative. We started about getting a place back home, that we caption our initiative as a home back home. So pleading with these people, most especially our brother Festus Logan, that he has been our main target when I was in Monrovia recently, to give us a space, okay, so that we can build shelters for these people to come back home, or to go back home. And that's one of the means. And then just what you talk about, practical solution, getting people involved also, that's also going to help us go a far way. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brenda. Go ahead, Tara. Tara, can you hear us? Go ahead, sir, if you can hear us.
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Go ahead,
okay,
sir.
Leo, you just completely said it all. You getting me, Leo?
Yes.
Okay. I think the Liberia Returning Network has started a great job that we all as Liberians can put hands on deck and see how best Look, we need to shame these Ghanaians. This is why I just want to put it like that. Because the people have used their country as is bargaining for West Africa. All right? And that's how Ghana is developing rapidly. And you can't blame them for that. We as the neighboring country in West Africa, we've been stupid. If I will use that English word, we've been very stupid. And Ghana is, look, cleverly what they did. The martial law in education, when we went to the universities, so they limited us. If you check how many Liberians got scholarship to be educated in Ghana, they are not more than 50. Why do they do that? Through some of us, our investigation. You know why they do that? That they know that Liberia will come back to normality one day, and we'll be searching for great dreams. We'll be searching for professionals. And then who do we trust? Oh, hospital, let's go to Ghana. Government workers sick, Ghana. And children want to go to school, Ghana. And we want to print electoral ballot, Ghana. We want to do this, Ghana. Ghana did that cleverly. And they are successful about that. We set it back. The Liberian government, look, I'm getting ready for them. Maybe the only language they understand is rally, protest, and what have you. And look, it'd be very irresponsible if we really want to put it like that. Your people, people are crying. Then like, we are a replica of America. You need to shut up your mouth. You are not a replica of America, because America cares for their citizens.
All right.
If one American is hurt, all Americans are hurt. But it's not what Liberia. We are cruel people. So there's why people acting like the way they are acting. So the Liberia returning that one. What we are doing, we right now in Guinea, there's a census going on in Guinea. They are just sending a copy. In Ghana, Brenda is there doing a census right now. We talked to the LHRC for the land they are dragging, and thank God Festa is right here. Festa, they are dragging on the land issue. So the next thing we are doing is that we are trying to pass through few laws maker to go to Todi, or the district number 1 laws maker to go to Todi and to buy a land in Todi that will be owned by former refugees, returnees, that when our people come home, they will not be able to be subjected to LHRC own ways of doing things. Because we ask them for the land, the first thing they say, they want to give it to us for 2 years. What is 2 years? If you give us a land for 2 years, can somebody settle down for 2 years? Why the Ghanaians will not treat us?
All right, Aaron.
Why they will not? So they are doing all of these things. The government is laissez-faire on this. They need to stop.
All right, thank you. Just for the sake of time, I want Reverend Logan. Reverend Logan, I want to get you in here to give us your comments. And then quickly, I will beg our technical team to give us at least 5 to 10 minutes to take some calls and open the comment session as well. But Reverend Logan, please go ahead.
Look, I understand the zest from Mr. Marshall, and I understand the passion he brings on the table. Just sometimes the way the situation, you can't handle it that way. It needs you to be very professional in handling the situation. And with government work, it wouldn't be the way that the civil society work. There are other negotiations that are ongoing, and we're following them. We are engaging not just the Liberian authority, but as a commission responsible for refugees activities, we are going international. We are asking a basic question, and I hope Mr. Marshall will understand that you have to be very technical in discussing the issue. First of all, you have some returnees, some individuals who returned to the country and returned to Ghana. So you need to be answering this question. And so it is better that we all work together and find a sustainable solution to this to this situation, something we are committed doing. And Leo, I want to beg your indulgence. Those documents you just display, and we will hope that you share it with us. We got some documents here. We want to have some comparison on those documents and see if we find another course of action. But again, the government is doing everything. I know, Mr. Marshall, we want the government to just be running and be condemning Ghana and putting on the harsh statements as he's doing. The government does not work that way. I can tell you for sure that we're handling the situation, okay, and we're going to handle it to its logical conclusion. Trust me on this. And so, you just mentioned about the land. But Marshall, I told you, the air troopers, they have a land. And the land is for integration, not for people to permanently stay on the land. You myself discussed that. And I tell you, we're not happy because that place is for returnees. So if you are given some time to spend on the land, it's wise enough as you integrate into the society, other people come and spend some time there. This is how we work, Mr. Marshall. So to bring that particular land business on this platform, I think it's uncalled for. But I understand your zest that you bring to this discussion. Thank you, Leo.
Yeah, no, thank you.
2 years. 2 years is not realistic. 2 years not realistic, and that's a fine. 2 years not realistic.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Here's what I would say.
Cost space, 2 years not realistic.
Yeah, here's what I would say, Reverend Logan.
Because
I will.
Somebody come for 33 years and get them 2 years to settle it.
All right, Taryn, I can understand your frustration here, Taryn, but I'll also say this to Reverend Logan that I will also hold the LRRC to account for working with the Liberian Returnees Network. The reason I'm saying this is that right now we are dealing with the challenges. When the moment comes where some of the solutions come to fruition, let's say some of our partners, international partners or funders or whoever tried to step in to help, I will watch carefully to see that the Liberian Returning Network is not overlooked and other similar Liberian organizations that are in the trenches. I'm saying this particularly because I know how this has worked in the past. That local Liberian organizations will be in the trenches trying to do the best they can. And then once the international partners step in to try and help, all of a sudden, we see all kinds of big international associations that were nowhere around, that do not understand the context of the situation on the ground, all of a sudden start to be prioritized because the international partners are saying they want to see certain kind of people. I will hope the LRRC, the Liberian government, can push back and say, no, we have people who are very knowledgeable in the situation and have been working in the trenches. For me, I think that's the most important thing. But Anthony, can we go to some of our comments before we kind of wrap up with closing statements? Anthony, for some of the comments that we have on here.
Yeah. Before we go to the comment,
go ahead, Reverend Logan.
Before we go to the comment, I want to assure you, Leo. Before we go to the comment, I want to assure you, Mr. Marshall is not a stranger to us. There has been this working relationship even before I came into the commission. And Mr. Marshall, the Liberian Returning Network, has always worked with the LRRC in finding a global solution to our person of concern. And at least to talk about me coming into the fray, I don't see why Mr. Marshall or the Liberian Returning Network will take a back seat. It's something I always committed to him, that we are willing to work with any other persons, including Mr. Marshall, if he can take the lead in working with him in doing most of our program. So you can rest assured on that.
Thank you very much, Reverend Logan. I appreciate that commitment. So we can go to some of our comments quickly. Leo Malomai's son King says, whoa, this is so sad, bro. Thank you for joining. My friend Tor Felix said, Liberia will learn. Everybody come, any African countries are free in Liberia. I think you're trying to say any African that come to Liberia, the country is free for them also. Thank you for your contribution. Moses Sam Kwise, thanks. So Leo, thank you as well, Moses, for joining. Moses Sam Kwise, thanks so much, Leo. Keep up the good work. Thank you as well for following. Thanks to Reverend Logan for agreeing to take up the time to be here, to you as well, Taryn, and everybody. Maedia Gia says, Liberians welcome Ghanaians and all other Africans on the continent when they are troubled, but they neglect to do the identical for Liberians, even with provisions put in place. We must learn from this situation and value ourselves. Thank you, Maedia. Tofilexi, Liberian will learn. Thank you for your contribution. I can't read this. I don't know whether I think it's Russian or something or Greek. I can't read it, so I will not say your name. We should not expect for every Liberian to leave Ghana. Even up to now, there are still Liberians in Ivory Coast. I think engaging with the Ghanaian government through diplomatic connections is the best way forward. Ghanaians are just like that. Okay, LRRC is already on that based on some of the things we're hearing. We just want to step up the pressure more so that nothing goes off the rail. Maeda G.I. again says, I remember as a little girl seeing lots of Ghanaians in Liberia with no one turning them away. They sold foods, fish, etc. freely. It was from the Ghanaians that I learned to eat sweet Ghanaian bread. But now they're treating our people like animals, unfair to Liberians. Thank you, Maeda, for your contribution as well. Fort Morrison said, Liberians in Ghana refugees camp deserve it. I don't know where you come from, Fort. I don't know what's your understanding. I think you might need a lot of education around this. No human being deserves for their rights to be abused, period, regardless of who it is. Tor Felix, the Liberian government never ever care about its citizens ever. It's always been that way. Tor, we're trying to speak in a very specific context here to not lose context. I mean, we can broaden this to a big political conversation and lose the essence of this, or we can focus on the issue here. Honey Barbie says, that was my question. What's the Liberian government doing about this issue, especially to integrate the ones who want to go back to Liberia in our society? This is some of the work that Taron has spoken about, that the Liberian Returning Network is really leading. And I'm glad to hear the commitment from Reverend Festus Logan that, in fact, they've already had a working relationship, and he's committing to ensuring that that is just improved so that any local programs or whatever will involve local civil society organizations. Honey Barbie said, yes, a lot of people who live there say their experience living in Ghana wasn't so pleasant. Joe Colley said, thanks, Brother Leo, for such fascinating discussion. In regards to the motion on the discussion, I would like to personally say that our common denominator needs to do a lot of works in our country, Liberia. There are many key sectors that needs to be looked after ASAP, such as immigration, etc. If the Liberian government says and see what one of their closest neighbor countries, Ghana, is doing to its citizens and continue to allow those Ghanaian guys who are illegally carrying on gold businesses, that's a very long comment. I think we will stop it there. Marilyn Joa says, ECOWAS only steps in when it comes to violence, which is sad. I agree with you, Marilyn. We need to be proactive as ECOWAS. ECOWAS is like a bulldog, no teeth. Those folks are making some solid points to what is going on to Liberian refugee camp in Ghana, or Liberian refugees in the camp in Ghana. Thank you, Francis Biel. Noah Brown says, Ghana is giving Chinese automatic residency. Liberians are Africans and getting kicked out of an African country. This is black hate, in fact. Thank you for your contribution, Noel. Samuel King said the Liberian government with the UN, I think he meant Ishiara, are building homes in Liberia for Ivorian refugees in Liberia. Let the government build homes for the Liberian refugees in Ghana. Thank you for your contribution, Samuel King. That's a big conversation. I don't think we have time for calls. We are over our time by already almost 10 minutes. But I want to thank everybody. So instead of taking calls, I will go around and allow us to do our closing statements, just so that we can have time for you guys to close up properly with word of mouth to do our audience justice here. So Taron, we will start with you with your closing statements, at least 1 minute or 1 minute and a half maximum, so we can maximize our time.
Okay, thank you so much, Leo, and thanks to the listening audience. Let every one of us as Liberian join hands together to see how best we can bring our people home. We can do this. It's not impossible. Many of those people, if you get in the refugee camp, all they're asking for, how am I going to start my life? I mean, after 30 years, after 20 years, after 28 years, I mean, where do I start from? So this is the big question. And we can do it together. Every one of us as Liberian, no matter where our status is right now, at least even at $5, even at $10, even at $15, if you can spare that, I mean, we'll be working along with Leo, we'll be working with the LRRC, we'll be working with other international organizations. I just spoke with Adamant and Dempster. He had joined the fight with us. I mean, all of the human rights lawyers. I mean, if they come, we all can do it together. Nobody shouldn't say, oh, maybe Taro, maybe the Liberian scenario, when you're not on the stage, then which with the person who is there is not trusted. But for once in our lifetime, we can trust somebody and see how best, because we put our life on the line for this. And I think that there's a child in one refugee camp. So maybe in Kankan, maybe in Lelim, in Bujuburum, as you can name those refugee camps, they need our help. Red in Lely or Lily just died from a storm. The storm was coming The storm came and she went out to fend for food, and the pantry broke, and she met an untimely death. Liberians are just dying by the day. Can we just give a helping hand? If you're opportunity to have traveled for on a refugee camp, other Liberians are not opportunity to have traveled. Not that they are useless, not that they don't have any other thing to do, but because it was not the time, it was your time. So you have that opportunity, give them a helping hand. It's just my humble appeal to all Liberians around the world. Thank you so much, Leo, for the time.
Thank you so much. Brenda, Alberta, Tor, let's go to you for your closing statement here. Look like you may be frozen there, Brenda. We can't hear you. So briefly, what I will say to everybody as I wrap up as well, while we wait for Brenda quickly, is that there are going to be opportunities to support this effort financially as well. For those of you who are listening, always asking, what can you do? We will be supporting the Liberian Returnees
Yes,
Network.
sir.
All right, go ahead. Give us your closing statement.
Us.
Brenda, can you hear us? Can you give your closing statement? Your phone is on, your device is on mute.
Thank you. Thank you. Kit is very, very big, so
all right, Brenda, your line is so bad. We'll wait, maybe try to fix it, go back out and come back in. So we'll go to Reverend Logan. Reverend Logan, can you give us your closing statement, please?
Again, thank you, Leo. Thank you to everybody, Mr. Marshall, Brandon, in Ghana. One recommendation I would like to make is that we have the leadership of the Liberian community on the board of directors. I would think that next time it's better, Leo, that we invite them. Brandon is already there, but we have an addition of Brandon with the leadership itself. We look forward to finding an everlasting solution to this situation. And one thing I want to inform all of us that Liberia is unique in herself. Liberia cannot be like Ghana. Ghana is what she is. Liberia will always be Liberia. That carries us back to what we are as a nation. We are a nation that is free with anybody, and nobody will change us. Meanwhile, we're going to work with everybody, Leo. We will accelerate our effort the more, and see how we can bring in our one. For example, the International Organization for Migration. I'm going to do a communication to them and see how we can have some kind of tripartite meeting in anticipation of what's going to happen on the 30th. I want to start by saying thanks to Mr. Marshall and his team. Thanks to everyone that are putting this, and to the Liberians on Bujumbura camp. I especially want to talk to you, the President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency George Weah, is truly concerned. He's concerned every day, but he's using a diplomatic channel to discuss this issue. So the President is engaged through the Minister of Foreign Affairs with the Ghanaian authority. Other channels are being exported to be used. We are concerned about you, and this government will not forsake you. Again, thank you, Leo, for giving me such an opportunity to appear. I'm available. I don't have any protocol that will limit you for getting to me. I await your email with those documents I just requested. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Reverend Logan, and I promise you will get the documents via email as well. But thank you everybody for joining us. And like we said, we will wait till September 30th to see if the diplomatic efforts of the government and President
Leo, can you switch the caller in?
Yeah,
caller, are you there? Hello, caller, Kristen. Go ahead.
Reverend Logan, can you mute your phone, please? Thank you.
I think that caller is not paying attention. Go ahead, Leo.
Okay, so like I was saying, we will keep our fingers crossed and hope some of the efforts so far, quietly, that Reverend Logan has made it known to us from the Liberian government side, hopefully we avert a situation on September 30th where we see Liberians being rounded up in the ways that we can. We'll keep our fingers crossed and hope that those that need to listen are listening, and even beyond September 30th, that the engagement for putting an orderly process into place to see this come to whatever the solutions are, they are implemented orderly. We'll really be thankful. Brenda, we gave you 30 seconds because we're wrapping up here. If you can hear us, try in 30 seconds to say goodbye to us. You're muted. Your device is muted. All right. It looks like, unfortunately, we still cannot get you. So everyone, thank you so much. We're way over time. We really appreciate it. And this is a Liberian Dream. This was a special edition. I'm usually here every other Sunday, but I had to be here given the gravity and seriousness of this issue. And my next episode, you will hear me continuously talk about this until we get clarity around what the solutions are. We will continue to raise the issue and even beyond that. So thank you, everybody. It's been a beautiful Sunday wherever you are. Enjoy the rest of your day. And please reach out to me if you want to know how you can support the Liberian Network directly, financially, whatever way, or get them on your show, whatever way, please reach out to me directly and I will facilitate a connection with them. I trust them. I'm going to be putting my own resources in as well. You can do the same. We should not only pay for money to go and shut down Capitol building only because we got political interest. Let's also support an initiative that will help our brothers and sisters who are in dire need of support. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your week. Goodbye.
We are Liberians.